Get to fundamentals now. Sailesh Jain, fund manager of Tata Asset Management, is joining us now. Sailesh, good morning. Thank you so much for joining in. Well, we've already seen that rally that has come by, but we do have important events coming up as well, be it the US-India trade deal, be it earnings. In August, we'll have the RBI policy again. What is the next thing that markets could react to now?
I think, thank you for having me here. So you have summed it up well in terms of the events ahead. I think the event the next week where the tariff, the 90-day period will get over, I think is a critical event. As we have been hearing that US has signed up some, or they are on the verge of signing bilateral treaties between countries. I think that will be a key event to be watched. Monsoon progress is a significant event which we are anticipating. The earning season will start this month now. I think that will be a key to watch if you really analyze what happened in Q4 when we had least expectations from the earnings. The earnings were actually way better than what we were anticipating. We just want to see that whether the momentum is intact for this earnings or not. I think if you really and also what is also critical is basically the pricing, the commodity prices. So if this commodity prices is where it is and there is no spike in it, I think India is set to for a good going as well here on.
Sailesh, good morning. Thank you for joining in. Since you mentioned earnings, which are the sectors that you are watching out for in terms of those that can spring up a positive surprise this time around, especially considering the fact that we'll be having a low base from last year?
So I think what I personally believe could actually do, one is banking, which I personally believe can actually do very, very well from here on, considering the fact that valuations have been low. Though the full benefit of CRR will not flow into this quarter, it may drag on to next quarter. But a cut in the CRR will actually help the banks to improve their margins. It could actually benefit both the PSU and the private, but maybe I am banking more on, or I am putting more trust on the private banks. IT is one sector which can actually throw surprises. I think the order book has been pretty decent. The whole idea is that how the commentary is that looking at where the IT stocks have been moving globally, I personally believe that these stocks can actually, IT as a sector can throw positive surprise.
Okay, that's about IT and banking. What about the FMCG or the consumption space, Sailesh? How are you looking at it? Because it has been in focus since tax cuts in the budget, but now that we have some updates coming in, trend today saying it could be a weak Q1. The next focus, of course, as you said, would be on monsoons. How are you looking at this entire piece?
No, so fair enough. I think what can drive or why we are seeing so much of positive momentum in the FMCG or the consumption space is two things. One, the tax benefit which is given by the government in the last budget or the previous budget, and also what was also important, the liquidity. Now, see, if you really see after the RBI rate cuts, the liquidity in the markets have improved tremendously. In fact, if you start analyzing the deposit rates also has started moving. What is really critical is basically the credit growth needs to pick up, which has been tepid till now. I also have been hearing that we have seen some amount of slowdown in rural, but the point is that with this rate cuts and this tax benefit, the disposable income in the hands of the consumers will definitely improve. With this, I personally believe that consumption sector, which has been lagging for a while, can definitely see some boost in the coming days. Also, what is also critical is basically the rain. At least whatever forecast I have been hearing on the rain, we believe it will be in line with the long-term average. Once you have those rain forecasts, which has been fortunate, we've been fortunate to have good rains in last 2 to 3 years. A continued good rain will definitely boost the consumption sector across the country, which means the rural and the urban both in perspective.
What about the capital?
So definitely, consumption sector, it looks definitely good. I think what can also drive with the lower interest rate is also the real estate sector. I think with the lower interest rates definitely pushes the real estate and the consumer durable and the auto sector as well. So.
What about capital markets, Sailesh? A lot of these listed players, the BSEs and the CDSLs and the likes, they run up quite a bit in the last 5 to 6 months, and now with this recent Jain Street order that has come in a bit of under pressure in today's session, would you use any of these declines or any near-term weakness as an opportunity to add on to your positions if there are any, because of the fact that there is a long-term growth runway that's lying ahead?
So I think obviously I can't comment on stock specific, but let me be very very generic on that. The valuations of most of the capital market stocks have actually has actually increased, in the sense they have started becoming expensive now. What had happened was that last 6 months, when market corrected from the month of September to the month of March, because you saw a drop in significant volumes, most of the stocks corrected. In this last 3 months, right from the April to the current scenario, as markets recovered, most of the stocks recovered very sharply, running ahead of some of the stocks actually running ahead of their valuation. My view is that with the market going into a tepid zone, maybe we will see some drain on the volumes. That may give either some time correction in other stocks. But having said that, fundamentally most of the stocks are actually market leaders, and they may continue to do well in the long run. But for a short term period, I personally believe that valuations have slightly run ahead of the fundamentals.
Okay, all right. So we take that point. That's about capital markets. Thank you, Sailesh, for joining in today with your thoughts on different sectors and the markets overall. Interesting times to look forward to what would happen with so many macro events lined up. With that, we'll slip into a short break. As we do that, here's some good news for our viewers. India's business news leader is now click away, introducing CNBC-TV18's all-new app. Get instant access to breaking news, in-depth articles, and financial world updates at your fingertips. Download the CNBC-TV18 app now from the Apple Store or Google Play Store, or just scan the QR code on your screen.